actually, who needs to send an aubergine now? Now, when you can actually send a text out saying, fancy, Banksy, you know exactly what's on the cards.
There used to be a programme on BBC TV apparently called The Good Old Days. The host, Leonard Sachs, used to love a convoluted introduction for his guests. Here's an example.
Multifaceted in mimetic mountebankery, your very own Roy Castle!
Now, the good old days. Well, in an event of sesquipedalian serendipity, the semi-optician of veritable and venerable vernacular, Gyles Brandreth is here. Good morning, Gyles.
Well done, Stig, if I may say.
No, I nearly got through it all.
There's a reason I didn't read that.
A slight inclination of the cranium is as adequate as the spasmodic movement of one optic to an equine quadruped utterly devoid of visionary capacity.
So you're saying
you did jolly well.
You're saying a nod is a wink. A nod is as good as a wink to a blind horse, I believe.
Absolutely.
Now listen, Gyles, you've given us inadvertently, I'm sure, so much pleasure this morning because we started this off at 6 o'clock where we were talking about words that we'd like to roll around our mouths and give us pleasure, and they're often a bit old-fashioned. They're often a bit onomatopoeic in a way. I'll give you the ones that our listeners have been provided, but you tell us what you mean, what you'd like to bring back, and the words that you love first, and then I'll tell you what we've come up with.
The reason I'm here today, and I'm amazed that I'm here today, I'm indeed flabbergasted though chuffed, is simply this, that I was shown a survey done by Tesco Mobile where they talk to people, young people, about words and language because they've got some promotion that they're doing for something called Essentials Tariff. And they found that 6% of young people use words like balderdash. Only 6%. Balderdash is a word I love.
Yeah.
But 3/4 of the people they surveyed loved the idea of using words like balderdash. And then among the younger people, they gave them a list of words. 81% among 25 to 34-year-olds said, oh, these are fun. We'd like to use bamboozled, codswallop, malarkey, particularly hanky-panky. So what's thrilling me is that these old words seem to resonate with young people, though the young people want to have a twist on them. So something like codswallop, which I've always loved as a word because the origin is supposed to be a man called Hiram Codd, who had created bottles and filled them with beer. Slang word for beer is wallop, and this drink that he created, codswallop, was so revolting it was known as rubbish. Oh God, codswallop! Oh, don't give me that codswallop. That's the origin. But the young people want to take it and twist it, so it then becomes cods. Oh, enough cods from you. So I like that.
I like that as well.
I love old words, so I know people love a word like bamboozled because it sounds good. And I know people don't like, top of the hate list is always moist.
Everyone hates moist,
I don't like
don't they?
moist.
Yeah.
People don't like moist.
I like bumf.
What you like? Bumf.
Bumf. Yep.
Yeah, if it sounds good to you, sometimes the connotation isn't so attractive, but if it's good for you, that's fine by me.
So we learned that bump being bum fodder, meaning toilet paper. We had poppycock, meaning soft poo.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not so keen on it. Whereas fiddlesticks, if I may say so, also, there's something quite fun and disdainful. If somebody says something to you, instead of just replying with a rude word, which I won't use on Times Radio because you're sophisticated people, but to actually reply, fiddlesticks,
yes,
is a clever way of doing it, I think. Anyway.
Do you know one of my fundamental, possibly my only fundamental belief in the whole world is that etymology is the great key to understanding. That once you know where a word comes from and you use it, your whole horizon is broadened. If you know that the word clue comes from a ball of yarn, and the idea of unravelling a clue is like unravelling a ball of yarn, that to me just shows that the world works, Gyles. And we sort of that's what makes me happy.
It makes me happy too that phrases like crikey or gosh or blimey, they're euphemisms, obviously, of what were oaths that had a religious connotation, as in God blind me, gore blimey. And you're right, it does tell you a story. I mean, gosh, obviously, is an abbreviation of God. Crikey is a version of Christ. So you're completely right. The philosopher Bertrand Russell, Stig, I think this is very much your territory. He said that no matter how eloquently a dog may bark, he cannot tell you that his parents were poor but honest. And the truth is, we need words, we need language, because is just a kiss. Hanky-Panky is fun and it sounds amusing. And indeed, the young people apparently are abbreviating it to Hanksy-Panksy. Or some, if they're in a hurry, it's just Panks. So you send a text saying, who needs to send an aubergine now? Now, when you can actually send a text out saying, fancy, Panksy, you know exactly what's on the cards.
Fancy Panksy, Gilesy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Oh, my God. Though, let's hope these things don't come to haunt us in 40 years' time.
Well, I'm sure they will. Giles, honestly, you made our show
You've
this
made our morning.
Thank you
I'm
so much for joining
flummoxed
us.
that you could be so easily pleased. And lovely to see a couple of young whippersnappers like you doing so well. More tomfoolery from you every day, please. Between
your
6
heart.
and 10. You're the best.
Giles, we love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is Gyles Brandreth. That Bertrand Russell quote is absolutely magnificent. What a series of words we've been given also by listeners this
We
morning.
have indeed. Hugo Rifkind has joined us in the studio. Morning.
Good morning.
You must surely be a fan of a funny word you'd like to bring back, or a nice word you'd like to bring back.
Funny word.
Doesn't have to
or a
be
nice
Scottish.
word.
We've had a lot of because we
Right,
had
there are some
Michael
good
Gove,
Scottish
Michael
ones,
Gove
yeah.
and Kezia Dugdale here. Clam jamfrey, you familiar with that?
No, that's a good one.
Do you know? That's a Scottish word. Apparently, it means
You'd be amazed how little it comes up in conversation, even in Scotland. Yeah.
a blether.
A blether.
Having
I
a
like
blether.
I like a blether.
That's
yeah.
a conversation.
Yeah,
Nash.
blether's a chat.
Nash.
Yeah. That one I'm not so sure
Don't know
about.
Nash.
That's
Don't think
cold.
so.
As in, like, don't be so nash. You say you're cold. You don't need a coat. It's not like
Right.
cold.
Someone gave us one earlier. Widdershins.
Britishins, it's the opposite of clockwise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't that a
I've
great
never
word?
heard that before.
It's
Yeah.
very seldom would you hear that in conversation, but instead of saying anti-clockwise and you said I walk around the tree widdershins, I think people
So-
would hold you in new respect.
A quite boring but very Scottish word that's actually very, very useful that should be in English language generally is out with.
Yes.
Nobody uses out with unless they're Scottish.
They do in legal circles in Scotland, I think.
Very much so, yeah. But
It's
if,
out with the law.
I once included it in a column, and someone said, "What on earth is this weird word?" And I looked it up. I was like, "This must have appeared in the Times before," and it had, but only in columns by Alex Massey, Alan Massey, other Scottish writers.
How
Yeah,
funny.
out with.
I like out with. Dominic's just said that disaster. I don't know if this is true. Disaster means to remove the stars. Is that true?
Well, aster is the Latin for star, so that would work. I always like the fact that definition is de finis, from the end.
Very nice.
So you can't get definition until something is concluded.
I have to say, Jill, you absolutely nailed it. You said very early this morning that Stig is never happier than talking about words, and he's been absolutely over the moon with joy this morning being able to do this. So thank you to Gyles Brandreth, and thank you to all of you for suggesting all of your words
We've been
that you would like
overwhelmed
to
with it,
bring
Jamie,
back.
haven't we? It's been
Yeah, it's been
Not
brilliant.
whelmed, not
Not
underwhelmed,
whelmed.
overwhelmed.
Well, whelmed.
Does whelmed exist? I don't think it does.
We're going to bring back whelmed.